I was in many places in Asia. And so I want to tell you what happened there, about the other side of the ocean. So these things are just only to say you why I treat only this part. Because I think it's very important for us. But it's not in Asian. In Asian it's not very important because they have not the dropping jowl here. So it's different. So from US and from Europe. So we have, you know, this, I don't know if you remember what is this woman. Is this one?
That's a great result.
Yes. Great. And even this one. As you can see, these women, now they have the lower third very, very dropping. And so this is what we think about. Because we must do, we have many strategies for the upper. The Botox, the blepharoplasty, fillers, fat grafting. But here, now we have no excisional treatment. And so I think we have a common problem worldwide. You see, even in China, they have this problem sometimes. And I have been there, and I've seen everybody wants no excisional tightening, no excisional surgical, and tightening. So I think the lower third of face is really, really important. And we have this fat pad dropping, treating in this way, in the best way that we can do. So, you know, the jawline dropping. And when we see a face like this one, a squared face, look, it's better when it's a V shape. So this is what we must do, to treat again, because I think that the V shape is much more attractive. So this is what we must do, just only in this place. Because I don't think, in Europe, we don't think that this part is really important to have tightening. We feel more, and I don't know if you are on the same idea. So this part is really, really important. So now I think the future, okay, which we can change the shape. This is the same thing that we have seen, but is the past. Because now you have heard the science that Steve has told us. Now I show you the practice. This is a fiber, a laser fiber. And this is what happened. I don't see tightening, but I see only melting fat. This is what we have with fiber. And this is what you have seen before with Steve, but I show you again hour of this tightening. And this is what I want to show you. Sorry, because I go in some places, but I don't want to to repeat what Steve told. About the thermal irradiation, I want to tell you that is correct indication. Oh, sorry. Is the correct indication leads to a result. So I think one important thing is to choose the right cases. Because sometimes we want to do to everybody, but it's not the right things. We must choose the right cases. And so I think that we can do the best indication about the jawline, skin tightening, the fat coagulation and lipolysis of the neck, the ptosis of the neck, the double chin, and the marionette lines. These are the indications. So I think sometimes we can do, I appreciate that Stephen does make here and just on the forehead, but we don't use this kind of treatment. So what is a contraindication of a treatment? The first years, I didn't treat low-fat layer. Now I treat even a low-fat layer. And when there is excessive skin laxity, First, I didn't treat, but now I treat. I have different results, but I tell to the patients that I can treat also this one, because I've changed in my treatment, in my mind, what I must do, and after I tell you. So the other contraindication are metal or silicone implants in the area and pacemaker or defibrillator. Another thing is recent great weight loss. I don't think that when the people come and say, oh, in the last months I lose many kilos, it's a good idea to do this one, because we have not a great result. I treated many patients with a great weight loss, and I think the fiber receptor are not in a good situation. I don't know exactly what is it, but I treated many patients and I haven't had the same results. So this is for me as an indication. So the advantage, you know, the scar, no visible scar, less downtime, because this is a week post-op, and you can see the fractural scenes only, but you cannot see the swelling of the face tight. And the tissues are more firm and tight, like Stephen told before. You can see the difference after 3 or 4 months, I don't remember exactly. So these are the 3 advantages. The treatment, you know, I agree with Stephen when say I like stamping, but also slowing technique. So we are surgeons. We can decide, we can do what we prefer in this moment. Usually, I use the 2 techniques. I use stamping in some points, and I use slowing technique and a fanning technique. Just on the face, but we are speaking about face, I use just only stamping, just only on the neck, because I want to create here the angle, and I do a line of stamping. So, you know, this is the stamping, and after we will see the fanning technique. So this is not correct, because it's going forward. We do backward, okay? So, here we go. What is for us, for everybody, we have a network in Italy about the user, and so we decide that there is a guidelines. So what we treat from 1 to 3 degree. We use math scale, and we use mild sagging, moderate, and severe sagging. A very severe sagging, we don't use it. Even after I show you, we treated also this sometimes, just to see. But it's very important, I heard before, that we know how much power, how much kilojoules we give. So don't look at this, because we was with the old device. Now it's automatic, so we don't put the power. But we must know how much power, how much kilojoules we deliver. So usually in jawline treatment, you use 1.5 from 1.5 to 2.5 kilojoule maximum for side, not more. Even if in the last year we used much more, 4, 5 kilojoules. But now we think that this is enough. Just now we don't have much problem about the burn, the problem that we have seen in the first year, but we used the old device. Now with the new one is more safer. And so we can do just on the jawline, fanning slow retrograde technique. So I don't use usually here the stamping technique. This is my idea. I don't know what is it in your mind, but I think the stamping technique will be better just on the neck. What is the neck we treat? We treat just all this neck, even the very severe sagging neck, because usually when we use from 2 to 5 kilojoule maximum all the neck, we can have a great result. So maybe the stamping technique may be good in a line, in some points where I want to do the angle from the neck and the chin. And after we use just on the neck, the fanning technique, and sometimes we do just only in this part a fanning technique just to have retraction. These are the marking scene, and we don't treat, as you know, this part. We can do, we divide in 3 parts, but I think the Steve is the same. In 3 parts, the neck, and we treat with here a little hole, and we go just in this side. And we have in these 2 parts, in these 2 sides, not all the neck we treat this part. So these are the compartments of fat of the face, and what we are doing is just above the jawline and below the jawline. So these are the parts we treat. Even this part we can treat, and we are safe if we have a lot of fat. But usually we use to treat just only above the jawline and below. Just not on the jawline, because I think I have seen many times if we treat just on the line of the jaw, we see it's too flat, and when he moves, we see a not beautiful result. So this is my point of entry. And many people say, why here and not here? Well, I had 3 nerve injuries in these years. And maybe because sometimes when I enter, you know, many of us, we are working, we are speaking, looking something else sometimes, and maybe I have been here. Unfortunately, after a few months with cortisone and therapy and oral therapy, they were good. But now I don't want to have any more. And so when I start from here, I don't have much more problem. So this is my point of entry, and I go here above and below. So I want to make here a stamping just below the jawline, and here a fanning technique retrograde. So I don't make stamping. Sometimes I do here, only here, because I want this. Usually I go from this point even here, and I treat all this part of the neck. But if there is a little thickness of fat, when I go and I take a point of entry here, I can do the submental and the fat above among the 2 platysma band. So this is the point, and I think this local anesthesia is enough for us, because when I use a modified Klein solution, usually 0.5 of epinephrine, 30 milliliters of lidocaine, and 50 of saline solution. So we have 80 milliliters, and is enough for all the face and neck.
Pablo, how much total tubescent do you use, would you say, for the neck?
Sorry?
How much would you use total, like mLs?
Total amounts of...
for the neck.
I think
Yeah.
you just said 80.
80?
Yes. When I have a big neck, I use 80, but usually not more than 50. 40, 50 milliliters is enough, because sometimes I don't treat the lateral part of a neck. Okay?
This is with no lipo. If you get a lipo, you're going to put more tumescent?
Yes. No. I don't do lipo. Usually I don't do lipo. I do just only if there is a fat neck. This is what now you can see. I'm going slow. I think that going slow is the best things, because we need to make tightening. And you see, sometimes you do stamping, and sometimes I deliver energy going slow. I think that we must tell to the doctors when they start to go faster on the neck, because sometimes in the first year I had some problem with the skin of the neck, even if it's not a big thickness of a fat. But we don't have problem with nerves, so they are very, very happy when they treat here. So I stop, as you can see here, and I do only fractura on this part. After I do above, also fractura, but I stop just in this part.
And Dr. Rovatti, if you had some old neck skin down here, why wouldn't you treat it?
Well, I don't treat because sometimes I think I could have some problem about skin because here is very attached to a furrow. It's very, so I treat here and I make fractura. But sometimes if you have a laxity of the skin, you can go and you can treat. Yes, depends. You know, the neck are so different, so we cannot have a treatment for all the neck because they change. So I think that we can say if there is a fat neck and so you have a thickness more big, more large, you can go in. So I do sometimes a light aspiration of a melting fat, but not made, I don't make a liposuction. I just remove the fat liquefied or some liquids. And as you can see now, look, this fat is great. And I try all the times that I do surgery and I have a piece of fat, I want to try and to do again what we have seen before. The contraction is enormous. Look, you can see this part is reduced of 40%. So this is the nerve we must look. First one, this, and second, the marginal nerve. So sometimes with a cadaver lab, we have seen that we don't have, with this nerve is very superficial and sometimes we can find. But with the marginal nerve it's very deep, so I never had problem about this fat. So now I think that my target zone is safe, so I can do. The treatment I can do is above and below, as I told you. And the marginal nerve is, as you can see now, very, very deep. This is the layer that we must treat. And after near muscles, we have marginal, so it's going there. So I think that when we have our handpiece, so we have the heat is on among the two electrodes, so I can do without problem in this plane, okay? So, as you know. And the other one dangerous zone is the fascial artery, but is also in the deep plane, and when I put my handpiece here, I can avoid it, because I think it's worse if we start from here and we go here. Maybe we can cross. So I think the message we can say to the doctors that start face-side are to avoid these three things, fascial artery and the two nerves we have seen. So now I started to treat even the patient with a low thickness of a subcutaneous. Now, as you can see now, I'm doing something on this low thickness subcutaneous. But you can see there is, even in the cadaver, but has no water, is a contraction of a small fat. And I don't think that we have burns, we can have problem, because I treated many of patients without a big amount of fat, just with a little lower. Yes, I change my the power that I do, and I change also the time that I do. So side effects, it's very important that we know that when there are skin burns, maybe it's too much heat time. And if we have the deformities of the skin, maybe it's not the right technique, because we must keep, with the other hand, the skin flattened. We keep this, and this is very important. Maybe the first years I had very long swelling for many months. maybe too heat. Now I do less heat. What are my post-treatment? A compression, just only for 3 days. I don't know what you do, Steve, but 3 days for me are enough. The first years, 5, 7 days a week, no more. I use just to compress in some places on the neck, just above the
Does that
jaw.
include if you're doing aggressive submental lipo, only 3 days?
Yes, only 3
Even
days.
just lipo?
Yes, because I see that when you have too much swelling, too much edema, you just when you compress, after it's longer.
Vocal, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't have anything about erythema or hematoma. Usually we don't have, and the skin hardness. I use a rest on foam just on this part of the neck.
When you say hardest, you mean little nodules?
That?
Little bumps. Little bumps.
Yes, I had, but usually they are good. Yes, go away. And so now I show you some results. So now, I think that we can have a good result even if we don't treat this one, because if we treat just only the jawline, we can have the marionette lines with better. So even this neck, go back, yes?
How far out is that?
Well, usually I don't make photos before 3 months, okay, because from 3 months to 6 months, usually we see a difference, but usually I want to show in 3 months what
What do
happened.
you tell the patients as far as that kind of thing? Because I have patients come back at 6 weeks and I tell them to expect to be disappointed, and then I have them come back at 3 months and then it's magic.
Yes, I tell to the patients, I see you in 3 months.
Okay.
I see just.
That's better.
Well, I put just
don't have
one
to deal with
stitches
disappointment.
here. I put the stitches here because I want to see after a week. Because for
Okay.
me it's very important. Because if you don't put stitches and you put steri-strip only, maybe they don't come. No. You come and I see. Okay, when it's okay after a week, I say, okay, I see you in 1 month if you want, or in 3 months is better. Because sometimes the people after 3 weeks say, oh, little swelling is not good, the results, okay?
Right.
So now, neck and jawline. So I think the definition of a jawline is just only for this treatment, not for this. So when we go, and I put my handpiece not in this way, but in this. So I go up. And I have much more definition of a jawline. Why? I don't know why, but I treated usually, the first time I treated in this way, and now I'm treating this way, and I have much more results.
I can tell you.
And I think,
So
It's-
you're right
it's-
under and right over.
And this
Yeah.
is a Spiro thing. It's a tissue recruitment thing. You want to treat wider than your target area.
Okay.
Because if you treat above and below, you're going to get more tightening than if you just treat right at the target area.
yes,
So it's tissue recruitment.
but, prego. But what is important, that we treat, you see here there is no fat. It's just only to define, to have a much more definition of the jawline. This is important. So you need only to make a contraction of above the jawline. So even if they have not so a big problem, but they want to define more, so now there is too much light, but you can see that the jaw now is more defined. Even the neck. These are jawline, not too much deformities, but
That's amazing.
this is good because this was a liposuction, a bad outcome of a liposuction. And so she had, this skin was really sagging. And so now is better, even if it's not too much. This is a new one. And this, as you can see, is 10 days. You can see fractura scenes. But you see the jawline is better and is not a great swelling and is good. So now these are the last treatment that I do. Less heat and more effect, more immediately. So
Paolo, can you, with your finger, make a circle above and below the jawline about where you treat?
yes, here I treated just only this part and here.
And what's your end point?
My end point here is I cannot do
It's
70
tissue
because I have
response thing,
internal.
then it
But
goes-
usually here I made 2.5 kilojoules, not more,
Okay.
not more. Now I do the half of the kilojoules that I did years ago. This is the only thing that I can do, and so I see the results much more. So in 10 days, 15 days, I can have the patients more happy. And after I had the patient after 1 month with big swelling, so they are not happy. So, and here, as you can see, the definition is always above the jaw and just on the neck.
So what about this, go back,
Yes?
you see this little area right here?
Well,
It looks slightly better.
This
Do you have any magic?
has not changed so much. Well, it depends.
That is a hard thing.
Usually, I don't go like Stephen. I don't go just more than here when, if I want to treat this part, but I don't treat for this. Sometimes, if I have a big marionette line, so sometimes I make fat grafting. I prefer, and I do here. But I show you after. Sometimes there is a big changing in the skin, and it goes up, and we will see the difference. Maybe in the next, in the next one. No. Even here, you don't see the jaw. Now you can see the line. Huh? I think here is better. And even the neck. This is a fat neck, not so much fat neck, but you can see it's better, even the line of the marionette line here is better.
In all of these cases, you're doing a micro aspiration.
Well, these cases, yes, when I see a little more fat. No, the jaw, never.
Just a micro
Never.
aspiration, because you take the coagulum out.
Just, yes, little liquid of coagulation, just to don't let the
Volume,
fat
5
there.
cc's maybe?
Eh?
Not
How
even-
much
No, 2, 3 cc more from the two sides. No, just a little. I don't want to make aspiration. I think
You
in
don't,
my...
you don't want to, but you do.
Yes, but I don't take fat.
Right. Just the coagulum. Just the
Yes.
coagulum.
Yes. In my mind, there is this, I don't know if it's correct, but in my mind is, when I do something in this fat, if I go with a cannula, maybe I do something else that is not good when I'm doing the heat. I don't know if you understand. So if I do liposuction, first I do liposuction, and after I made it. I want that my heat is the end point, is my end of treatment. And this is what I do. So here, the bulldog face we call in Europe, the bulldog face, and they don't like, this part. And I think the shape is better. Even this one. Okay, when we have this kind of fat, sometimes I take fat. But when I have a big amount of fat, not in this case. So now I tell you about men. I don't know in your experience, but I had sometimes alopecia. Sometimes they lose birds. And I tell to the patients, because can be. I had many of this, but the men in Europe, in Italy, don't like birds. So if they lose, they are happy. So it's very important that we speak just in this moment just about another things. We use face tight even for the neck, but the neck tight, there is another handpiece, usually it's for neck. I don't use never. But I think there are many people in Europe that use neck tight for neck, the neck tight handpiece. This for us is not possible, just only face on the neck. Because when sometimes I do aspiration here, I do with a cannula. I don't use the face tight, the neck tight cannula, because I think that it's better aspirate before and after treat. So I want to treat this one. So as you can see, immediate post-op is really a good case, and after a few months is better. And I have a great angle, a great retraction of the skin just on the stamping technique. So even here, the square face, the V shape is better. And even this one. So this is a common problem. Now you can see a difference. So we speak about some many different. Here we have this problem, and I have these results just treating only this part. So I think that now we can see from the other side. Okay, look, the nasolabial folds are better, and I didn't feel it here, and I treated just only this part.
How far up did you go on an angle?
How far? Usually I don't go anymore. Just on the nabial folds, I stay 1 centimeter less here.
Which angle, upward?
Yes, I do this one and I do in this way. These are my lines. And so in these cases, instead of staying above the jawline, I go up here and I treated this part. So I have this retraction.
It would be nice to see it on the photo, like an overlay of the area treated. I think that would be helpful for people to see.
Great result. Where's the access, Paulo?
The access always here, always here, always. Yeah.
How many points?
Now, how many points here? No, just only this one, this one, this one, only one.
Just there?
Only one for this part.
One submental, one
I-
so 3 points.
Yes, for this part, I do in the middle.
1, 2, 3.
Yes, well, 3 points. 1, 2, and
And
3.
you went upper nasolabial fold or no?
No, sometimes I treat. When I want to do here, I can treat. This time I didn't do. But I can do. Look at this. And I want to show you. This is not a turkey neck. I don't want to treat usually. But I treat it because the patients say, I don't want to do any more surgery. I don't want to do. We try this one. Look this more. Now it's up.
Just one treatment?
Because, yes, one treatment.
Maybe it's just a new zip.
That's reasonable.
Because he has changed. Look at here. This one,
Passes, Pablo?
what?
How many passes did you do?
Well, I treated this woman with 12 kilojoules. A lot of amount. Total.
Both are down.
Total face.
Amount of face, yes. The 2 sides. Neck. No, total.
How much is that gel?
12 kilojoules. But I think is too much now. Now, because I treated many years ago. And I treated all this part, all the neck, all this.
So if you saw her today, and she's 60 years old, okay? How much energy would you put in, what would your settings be? How much energy would you put in your gel and how much in the neck?
70 years old.
Well, well, now I think I will do, I could do less power than
Well, I mean
this.
now, she comes in, she's on the table tomorrow. How much goes in the gel? 2 joules, 2 kilojoules, 1.5?
No, I think on this side,
Gel.
in this side, 3.
Okay.
3.
And how much in
And just on the neck, 3, 4. Okay? We are here for a consensus paper, and so I think we must decide the most of neck or the most of the jawline, so we must decide what is the minimum or maximum. But sometimes, the surgeons must decide themselves. what they can
What
do.
you want later on is someone doing eight kilojoules on the jowl, coming back and yelling at you guys that they got a problem, they got a burn. I mean, just, you know, if they did 100 cases, maybe, but these guys are a lot of cowboys. I mean, just
I agree.
they know better, they know everything.
Yeah.
And I think that we've all been through this before with other companies. We're trying to avoid that now.
Have you been using the internal thermal
Right.
recently?
Yes.
And would you say then getting to the thermal endpoint is what you do?
Yes. It's faster. It's faster. So you reach.
Are the friggin' idiots.
I think it's not so different.
I'm the worst.
Right.
Guys, I'm gonna take the emergency stop button on the CO2 lasers.
Yes. For example, I show you these things because I want that we speak about this. So now, I don't think that this woman, if I could have done a lot of heat here, maybe I don't have results. Because here, my results was because I did here stamping technique. And so this is what I have. So here, I had stamping. And this is, I think, is very important, much more than heat.
Plus lipo.
Yes, plus lipo, yes. But not so much. Usually I don't do too much aggressive
Remember though
liposuction.
that our societies are very critical. You start showing pictures up there, they're gonna start yelling and screaming about everything else. We know that's a beautiful result. That's spectacular. But these guys, you know, it's the same people for the same 20 years doing the same stuff. So we just gotta be cognizant that when you present this at a meeting, this is a 57-year-old lady who had face tight plus lipo with an energy of so-and-so and temperature and so, which is standardized so people understand what we're talking about. Otherwise, they'll say, well, you did lipo. Well, that's not the case. We know
we lose
lipo.
credibility.
Everyone here knows lipo's not gonna fix this lady.
No.
No, Dan Baker would say different.
That's it.
That and the chin implant, right?
Just open the neck and fucking force it. Exactly.
Okay, immediately post-op, and as I can see, immediately is the results. So now is 3 weeks, and I'm looking, this is the difference that I must tell you. In 3 weeks now, I can see some results. First, much more heat, much more swelling time. So now, I want to show you also this thing, the Mission Impossible. So these are not cases for body type, for face type. But I want to show you that I wanted to see. It's not correct. We don't show to a doctor that want to start in this way. But sometimes I want to see what happened. And no, I let you this one. You remember. This time is Mission Impossible. It's Tom Cruise, it's me. And Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible is now Mission is Possible. Okay, now, look, this is a first Mission Impossible. This is a face, neck lift, okay? We can do. These patients told me, I don't want it. Okay, we do, and we do. This is what happened with face and neck tight. Well, I think it's a good result when we do it, and I think...
Did you lipo her jowl or no?
No, lipo, I don't.
Fractura?
Yes? Yes, always. Always fractura on the neck, always above the face tight and neck tight. I did fractura. 3 times of fractura. But look,
Which fractura
the neck,
did you use?
24, no coated. Coated. So,
Was that just fractura perioral, or do you face tight upper lip too? Is that face tight fractura or just fractura?
this is fractura, this is filler. Here is filler, there is fractura. Here is filler, fractura, and fractura,
You
face
guys in
tight.
Verona? You're in Verona? Where are you?
In Verona.
What did
No
you do
judging,
to her platysma?
You guys don't like IPL there, huh?
Sorry?
None of these patients had photofacial, no IPLs.
No. I tell you that this case, I think is really interesting. Huh?
So Paolo, what did you do to her platysma?
Well, with platysma band, usually if I see a big platysma band, I make some Botox before the treatment. Huh? Because when I treat, we know we have Bokutur, so we can Botox. And if I don't see the big platysma band, I don't do it. But if I see too much, you know, the skin is attached to the platysma band. So another,
Yes.
But-
I'm really interested.
That's at 380 or so.
sorry,
The photo, like the
I
photo
thought you told me
before this one, this one.
How far out, how far out?
Right.
What?
3 months, 6 months?
Oh, no, this, what time is it? Oh, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. 6 months because he had, I usually I do Fractora after 1 month, 2 months, and so I wait time, okay? So here, don't look in this part because there is filler and nothing else. I want to show you jawline and neck. Another mission impossible. Look, this is a very, very bad neck. But was good.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
Yes. But these are only borderline cases. I don't want to tell you nothing more than sometimes we can treat also this neck and this and this. Well, this is a post-op 1 month. As you can see, here is better. The jawline and the neck is better. So I did, you know, a upper blepharoplasty, the fat grafting here, and this one with an office procedure. Now, in 1 month is like this, and 4 months, look, is better.
Okay.
So it's enough.
Question I am, the blepharoplasty,
Yes?
CO2 or incision?
No, incision. I like CO2, but I think it's not.
Lower black,
It's the same technique.
lower black.
No, upper.
What did you
Only
do to
upper.
the lower leg?
Fat graft.
On the lower, I do fat grafting.
Oh, okay.
Fat grafting. Here, and here.
Beautiful result, beautiful.
And so the same thing on the face type, you only treated the jowl there and the neck?
Neck and jaw, just only. Nothing else. Just this part and this.
Where did you stop? That big crease that she has?
That's LMF fat grafting too, right? Fat grafting to the marionette line too?
Yes?
Yes.
Fat grafting.
No fat grafting here as well?
Yes, here, yes, just a little,
Where
yes.
where did you stop the face tight and where did you put the fat?
I put the fat here, and here.
And where did you
I do face tight just only here and down here, and just on the neck.
Did you not put a little fat right here?
No. No. Maybe here is the fat. As you can see, here the chin is much bigger. So it's finished. And so the conclusion are that I think that is a safe technique, but I think the learning curve is short, that there is less downtime and no invasive treatment. I think you have the same results, much more better than me. But
Oh, it's a great.
usually I treat
I like his
after 4 or 5 years now.
a little bit.
It's long lasting. Few complications, and the patient in Europe like this now are more, because now is starting much more patients that know what is it body type, because until 2 years ago they didn't know, say, what is body type? Now they see on the web much more diffusion, and so they come to you and say, I want to do body type, I want to do face type. So this is very important, I think, for us. Short time, local anesthesia, office procedure. So this, I think, are winning things. And I think that in the aesthetic business, something is changing, something is in progress. And and something is changing at the speed of light. So we need to spread the body type philosophy until we don't have new things that maybe next year will come. And I think that the tech doctor, the doctor that has radio frequencies, laser, and everything is much more is updated, and the patients prefer him. I think this is one of the things that we can do to the doctors. Okay, hope to see you in Verona if you can.
Dr. Rovatti, grazie.
Prego, prego.